We all have two natures about us. One nature is our unborn nature, and the other nature is our born nature. And I think our born nature is quite obvious. It's the gift, however you look at it, that you receive through your parents. It's your born nature of your body and your mind. Your form, your humanness. That's our born nature. And our other nature is our unborn nature. And almost always, when we receive our born nature, we forget our unborn nature. It just seems to be the way it goes. You received your born nature, you receive your body, this mind, and there's a forgetting of your unborn nature. So while the born nature is the body and mind and everything that goes along with it, our unborn nature is in some ways just the opposite. It's that which we were before we were born. It's that which we are even during this birth. And it's that which we will be after this death. Our unborn nature is our unborn, uncreated, undying nature of being. While our born nature can be seen, touched, tasted, felt, smelled, for better or worse. None of this applies to our unborn nature. And really, our greatest gift is our unborn nature. That which is unborn, unseen, ungraspable. It's that silence inside that's unborn. Even in the midst of this birth, that's the miracle, is even in the midst of this birth, as spirit takes form as a human being, as a body and mind, and of course that is a great gift. That's a great blessing for the unborn, for spirit to have this gift of a body and a mind, so it can do this human dance for as long as it lasts. But this gift of our humanity, this gift of our body and mind, of our born nature, as probably everybody in this room knows, that the gift of our born nature, if there is not a conscious realization of and constant contact with our unborn nature, then this gift becomes a problem. Because our unborn nature basically is trying to survive. That's what everything that's born does. It tries to survive. Have you noticed? Everything that's born, everything that exists, everything that has form, its prime directive is to just continue, to survive as long as possible. And it needs that, otherwise we wouldn't eat when we were hungry, and then the born nature wouldn't last very long. And this is why when we forget our unborn nature, that things become so chaotic, is because the will and the drive to simply survive, to continue, starts to dominate our experience. I must continue. It's basically the drive of ego. I must continue. If you don't love me, I won't continue. If I don't get what I want, I won't continue in a satisfactory way. If I'm not successful, I won't continue. And on and on and on. Underlying everything you see is this sort of urge to continue, to keep going, to stay alive. And this is just the born nature. That's its sort of prime directive, is to stay alive, to continue. And if you have any doubt about what this looks like, this drive to continue, just open your eyes, and basically the world around you is a world in which everybody is trying to continue. Right? Not only trying to continue, but trying to continue in a more comfortable way than the next guy. In a better way. In a more advantageous way. And so when we forget that our unborn nature, then this drive to continue dominates experience. The beauty is in our unborn nature, which is constantly and always present. Our unborn nature is constantly and always present. That which is not form, that which was not given to you and me at birth, that which we were before we were born. That divine emptiness, that great awake space. Even when this birth happens, that is never lost for a moment. Never does it go anywhere. Never is it absent. And when there is some conscious realization of our unborn nature, this is actually what spiritual realization is all about, to have a consciousness of your unborn nature, of you as no thing. That's really what spirituality is all about, to come out of the trance of form, of your born nature. Because this is the power of our born nature. It has this tendency, because it must survive, because it wants to survive, it pulls consciousness, it pulls the unborn into this trance. And before you know it, all you think about is, I got this body and this mind, and it must survive. It must remain happy. It must, whatever it must do. And so awakening is simply to awaken out of this trance of only a very small part of ourselves, that which we received at birth, our bodies and minds. As beautiful as that is, as much of a miracle as that is, it actually cannot be freed to be the miracle as it is. And this body and mind can't be free to be the beautiful thing that it actually can be unless there's a conscious realization of our unborn nature. Otherwise, our born nature is simply trying to survive, and that's not a pretty life. That's not a comfortable life. It's not a free life. It's not a life that's completely already okay with not existing. How many people are totally okay with not existing? To the extent that you're not okay with not existing, then your fear is dominating. Fear is in the system, because the fear is, I must exist, I must continue. And of course, your born nature won't. It will be recycled. It's like a styrofoam cup. It just gets thrown away, and then one day it gets recycled. If you're lucky. The great spiritual master, Meister Eckhart, used to say, call the unborn, he actually used the word unborn among others, but he used to call it that where distinction never gazed. That in you where distinction never gazed, where this or that, good or bad, never entered into the unborn nature. That about you which has no form or substance.